Now, what you probably know already is that a straight line equation is always written in the form of y is equal to mx plus c, where m is the gradient of the straight line and c is the y-intercept. So what most of you probably have been doing is that when you've been given two coordinates of that line, you're going to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to get the gradient of that straight line, and then you're going to find c by saying at c the x-coordinate is 0, then you're going to make the x-coordinate 0, and then you're going to get c, and then you're going to find the equation of a straight line. That's not wrong, that's totally correct, that's totally acceptable, that's fine. But in this video, I want to show you another way of getting the equation of a straight line. And in order for you to know how to do this, you must understand that a straight line can also be expressed in the form of y minus y1 is equal to m multiplied by x minus x1. Y minus y1 is equal to m multiplied by x minus x1. First and foremost, you have to remember this form. Just like how you remember the form y is equal to mx plus c, you have to remember this form, where x1 comma y1 are a single coordinate on that straight line, So x1 here and this y1 here, they represent a coordinate on that straight line. So as usual, whenever you want to find the equation of a straight line, you have to have some coordinates on that line. So x1, y1 are just a general coordinate on that line. You can pick any coordinate that you want, and m is the gradient of that straight line. So let's look at an example here. Let's say I've been given the two coordinates 1, 2 and 5, 6. 1, 2 and 5, 6. So I've been given these two coordinates, and these are coordinates on a straight line, and I'm trying to find the equation of the straight line. So the first thing that I need to do, whether I'm using this method or this method, is I need to find the gradient of that line. Now the gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So the gradient of this line is going to be 6 minus 2 over 5 minus 1. So 6 minus 2 over 5 minus 1, and that's going to give us 1. Okay, that's going to give us 1. So the gradient m of the straight line is 1. So this is the gradient of the line. Now, going to this form here, all I need to do is to plug in my gradient and to plug in any coordinates on that straight line, because remember, x1, y1 are simply coordinates on that line. So I can pick any coordinate here, but I'm going to pick both in two cases. So the first case, I'm going to pick this coordinate here. So it's going to be y minus 2 is equal to 1 multiplied by x minus 1. And this is the equation of this straight line. You can actually leave it like this and you'd get all your marks, but if you want to simplify this, this becomes y minus 2 is equal to x minus 1, which implies that y is equal to x plus 1. Y is equal to x plus 1, because you can take this to that side and say y is equal to x minus 1 plus 2, which gives you y is equal to x plus 1. So this is the equation of this straight line with these two coordinates. I could also have picked this coordinate. I could also have picked this coordinate. So if I had picked this coordinate, it was going to be y minus 6 is equal to 1 multiplied by x minus 5. In this case, my x1 is 5, my y1 is 6. So simplifying this, this would have become y minus 6 is equal to x minus 5, which again implies that y is equal to x plus 1. Y is equal to x plus 1, because y would then be equal to x minus 5 plus 6, which is y is equal to x plus 1. So you could have used this method, but this one, it's a bit quicker if you think about it, because in this one you have to find c. So that's another process, because finding c is another thing on its own, whereas with this method all you need to do is to find the gradient and then just plug in these coordinates into this expression. Let's look at another example. Let's say I've been given the two coordinates 3, 4, 3 comma 4 and 10 comma 12. So 3 comma 4 and 10 comma 12. So as usual, the first thing that I want to do is to find the gradient. So the gradient m here is 12 minus 4 over 10 minus 3, and that's going to give me 8 over 7. So this is the gradient of the line. Then I have the gradient. What do? I simply go to my general expression, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. I plug in my gradient m, and I choose which coordinate I want to be x1 comma y1. Again, I'll use both coordinates. Let me pick 3 comma 4. So if I pick 3 comma 4, it's going to be y minus 4 is equal to 8 over 7 multiplied by x minus 3. And again, you can leave your equation like this, or if you want to, you can expand this thing, and that would be y minus 4 is equal to, that would be y minus 4 is equal to 8 over 7 x minus 24 over 7, because 8 over 7 multiplied by negative 3, 8 times negative 3 is negative 24, so that. And then simplifying this, taking this for that side, that would be y is equal to 8 over 7x plus 4 over 7. And this would be your answer. Y is equal to 8 over 7x plus 4 over 7. If you want to, you can multiply throughout by 7, which would give you 7y is equal to 8x plus 4. This answer would also be accepted. So this answer would be accepted, this answer would be accepted, and this answer would be accepted as well. And lastly, we can pick these coordinates as well. So it would be y minus 12 is equal to 8 over 7 multiplied by x minus 10. And if you simplify it, you would get these answers as well. So anyway, that brings us to the end of the video on finding the equation of a straight line given two coordinates. Now, just to round off this video, what about if you're given the gradient of the line and only one coordinate? You're given the gradient of the line and only one coordinate. Let's say I say this straight line passes through the coordinates 2, 4, and the gradient is 6. How would you find the equation of the line? Well, again, just use this format here. Y minus y1 is equal to m multiplied by x minus x1. You already have been given the gradient as 6, and you've already been given a coordinate x1 and y1. In this case, it's 2, 4. So simply plug it in. Y minus 4 is equal to 6 multiplied by x minus 2. Yes, y minus 4 is equal to 6 multiplied by x minus 2. Your x1 is 2, your y1 is 4, and you can simplify this and you would get your equation of a straight line. So that brings us to the end of the video on how you find the equation of a straight line, and until next time.